As I always say, Mondays are always the most boring day starting the week. However, I attempt to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. So if you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene or in Japanese wrestling in general, you're always on the right channel. So today we're going to do some interesting reviews. The first one, of course, we have the Unagi Sayaka self-produced show from Ryogoku that took place called the Unagi Zekkocho, hopefully I pronounced it right, that took place back in April, but it wasn't broadcast on Samurai TV until, of course, the 3rd of April. So don't ask me why. It features, of course, many talent, not only in the Yoshi wrestling scene, but also wrestlers like Minoru Suzuki and a few others. And then after that, of course, we have two events from Stardom from the Golden Week Fight Tour that took place. The first one, of course, was in Takamatsu, and the other one in Kumamoto, which is, of course, known as Unamizumori country. She makes her return home after 1 year, and now she faces against Starlight Kid. As you know, Unamizumori has been stepping up her game in the high speed division. We'll see how things roll out for her when she faces someone who's been in that game before. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And as always, we'll cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. It's time to burn rubber. So let's begin, of course, with the Unagi Sayaka produced show, Unagi Zekkocho. Hopefully I pronounced it right. Alright, Unagi Sayaka. Now, many of you know this about Unagi. She has been doing self-produced shows. But her biggest ambition is for her where the venue is going to be held. One of her biggest dreams is to have it at the Tokyo Dome. Now, some of you may think it's crazy. I mean, yes, it sounds crazy. But she was able to do this at the Ryogoku event, which was very interesting. But for those who don't know, it might have cost her everything because she was flat broke as soon as she paid the fee. But the one thing that was struggling is that she had to pay the wrestlers. But anyway, she was able to get it done. Now, our first match, this was an interesting. We have, of course, the rookies from Marvelous, both Sora Ayame and Senka Akatsuki, actually opening up the show, which is very interesting. Now, many of you may ask, why would she do that? Well, as you all know, Sora Ayame is a big fan of Unagi and she admires her. And of course, when Sora Ayame actually told her she was going to become a pro wrestler, it was Unagi who encouraged her to go train at the dojo with Marvelous instead of going to Mighty Gold or Stardom, because Unagi felt that sooner or later they were going to meet up. Like, not just, say hi, more like face each other. And of course, it did. And of course, they teamed up together. And that sets it up right there. And I think Sarayame must have felt overwhelmed that her idol that she admired so much has invited her to this big event. But the real question is, who was going to walk out from this match between the two rookies? I mean, yes, we've seen the rookies go back and forth like we'd see with the young lines. But unfortunately, it was Akatsuki who picked up the win when she applied, of course, a lariat. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match is a little interesting match called the Healthy Sandals Death Match. Now, for those who don't know what this is, you're wearing sandals, but the sandals are not comfortable. They hurt as hell. Basically, there's something in them that like it would not. It kind of make you unfocused on what goes on in the match. And here's it. It was more of the boys versus girls type of match. Unagi herself, Sayori Anu, and Risa Sera. They face against Takayuki Ueki, Senya Aoki, and Desuki Sekimoto. Now, of course, you probably know I mentioned this because they're wearing sandals and there's things going on in their feet in the sandals that hurts them. You probably ask yourselves how the hell they're going to survive that. Well, it takes a lot of pain, but in the end, it was of course Sekimoto who picked up the win on Unagi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. I mean, this is not the first time something like this happened, but it seems interesting. And this is a Sayori Anu's second time being involved in this match, but it was a lot of interesting. Next match, we have a very interesting 6-woman tag team match. We have Isuki Aoki, Ayame Sazamura, and Veni teaming up. Now, what's interesting about this team, if you guys know this or not, these ladies are wearing championship belts from Seedling. Aoki and Sazamura are the current Beyond the Sea Tag Team Champion, and as for Veni, the Beyond the Sea Champion. So basically, it's kind of interesting that they were paired up. I don't know who actually made the. I don't know if Unagi did the booking on this or not, but it's interesting. But their opponents, well, these are veterans. We have Chikayo Nagashima, Sonoko Kato, and Aja Kong. Now, of course, factors are this. You look at, of course, Aja Kong. She is a big woman. It's not an easy task for her to, of course, how do I say? It's not an easy task for anybody to try to take her down. I mean, she has that trash can, not to mention a deadly back fist. How do you overcome that? Well, that was a very good question. I didn't know either, but they were able to isolate her. But it was Aoki who picked up the win by pinning Kato, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we had an interesting 8-woman tag team match. We have Misa Kagura, Yuri, Kakeru, Sekiguchi, and Unagi. Yes, she's again another match. This is another case boys versus the girls type. They face Fuminori Abe, Kui no Mogami, Takuya Aoki, and Minoru Fujita. So that kind of sets it up right there. So basically, I don't know what to expect in this match. For those who didn't see, these women, the guys were dressed up in some sort of outfits, and dressed like ladies, and they had like these canisters where they shoot out cold spray and sorts. But however, Unagi was the one who ended up being on the wrong side of Minoru Fujita's tombstone, and just like that, it was over. And then, of course, while this match was happening, because Minoru Fujita picked up the win, apparently someone called them out. I don't know. I don't know who, but it was interesting. So we'll see how that goes out. Our next match is a very interesting, a 2-on-1 handicap match. We have Shin Natsuko Tora, consistent, well, played by none other than Sakura Iroda. Now, for many of you may ask, why is that? Well, originally, this was supposed to be a tag team match, but during this time, Natsuko Tora was out due to health issues, so became a very comical thing. What happened is Hate showed up, and they actually had in tow Kuroshio Tokyo Japan, or better known as Ikemenjiro. Basically, they dragged him in there. So basically, it became a 2-on-1 scenario. But, however, of course, Hate was going to get involved. They did many times. But out of nowhere, Shin Natsukotora actually got green mist by both Tachibana and Ikemen. But, however, they were both taken out by Hate. And, of course, there was a double pinfall by Shinsa Natsukotora onto both Ikemen and Tachibana, and just like that, Shin picked up the win. So that was kind of interesting and really fun. And I'm sure she had the nice help from Hate, portraying someone from that faction. Our next match, we had an interesting battle royale. We have Dark Unagi, which is Unagi's doppelganger, Rina Yamashita, uh, Masashi Takeda, we all know who he is, um, Yusato Ito, Nanashi, and of course, Murder Grandpa himself, Minoru Suzuki. So all hell was breaking loose throughout the entire match. However, for some odd reason, there was this guy that comes out. I don't know who the hell he was, but of course, he was holding up the match, and Dark Unagi was telling him, "Hey, get lost, prick. This is nothing to do with you." But however, this match ended with Nanashi basically, but that's not how it ends. Apparently, Nanashi forced everyone out of the battle royal. Want to know how? She had a knife, and they all run for the hills, and she chased after them. So I thought it was really funny. Our next match is called a one weapon uh, rules match. Now, some of you may be saying, "What is that?" Well, you're supposed to bring one weapon for both guys, but basically someone has to use it, and this one had it very interesting. It is, of course, Super Sasatandango Machine taking on um, Jun Kasai. But what's interesting is, what was the weapon? You guys wouldn't believe me if I told you. If you guys noticed, a while back there was another type of Super Sasatandango Machine, but the original was questioning, who the hell is this imposter? Well, that same imposter showed up, tried to give a helping hand, but it didn't do any well because that imposter actually accidentally backfist Sandango, and just like that, Jun Kasai picked up the one with his usual move, the little splash thingy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then, of course, Unagi called out, of course, in a post-match video where she calls out Jun Kasai. I don't know if they're gonna have a one-on-one match in the next self-produced show. Who knows? But I have to say it's gonna be interesting. Now, our main event, we have Akushi. Many of you remember him. He was that one wrestler that faced Sting, Darby Allin, and Great Muta at the final bye-bye of the Great Muta. He teams up with Masato Tanaka to take on Takumi Iroha and Unagi. So this is like another case of boys versus girls type of match. But of course, these ladies don't back down. They don't take any crap from any of the guys. But unfortunately, this match ended with Hakushi picking up the win when he applied a power bomb on Unagi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. So don't know when the next show will be, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll see. So do I think it was a fun show? I have to say it was a fun show. Not gonna lie, but I enjoyed it. So as of right now, we are officially done with this one. Let's move on with Stardom. Stardom, as you know, they just started the Golden Week Fight Tour. Right now, they actually did two shows. So the first one we're going to do took place on May 1st in Takamatsu. Um, As you know, they were still coming off from the All Star Grand Queendom, but we'll see how things will go from here on out. Our opening match, we have a three-way. We have Akira Kuragani versus Takoma uh, Tomoka Inaba versus Hanako. Now, of course, X factors of this match, many of you would probably think, okay, Hanako, as you know, is a very tall and strong individual. I know we have witnessed her growth, not to mention using the JP coaster, which she inherited from Himeka, and not to mention that submission move that she learned from Shinsuke Nakamura has always played a good factor. Tomoka Inaba, many of you know her. She is a proud student of Taka Michinoku, but also some people declare her, even though they're not blood related, as Maika's sister. Of course, that would play it out, and of course, Akira Kurigani, a rookie, but also the one of the four members of Zuzu's faction, Mi Vida Loca. So, of course, she had the least experience. So, of course, she was going to be the one taking the fall. But the real question is, who was going to be the first one to do that? Would it be Tomoka or was it Hanako? Well, Hanako was able to do it when she applied a very strong lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have Cosmic Angel members consisting of Aya Sakura and Yuna Mizumori taking on star members Momo Kogo and Saida. Now, for those who know this or not, recently there have been a bit of a rivalry between Momo and Yuna Mizumori for a few reasons. If you guys know this or not, both these ladies have aimed for the high speed belt, and apparently none of them were successful. But Yuna Mizumori is determined to be the one to get it first before she did. And of course, it was going to land on them between facing off. Now, I would have assumed that Yuna Mizumori was going to use the Tropical Sunshine or the Soup Girl as to finish off Momo, but it didn't. She applied a submission, which was very effective, and just like that, Momo had no choice but to tap out. Next up, we have tag team action. We have Godzai featuring Lady C and Hina. They take on EXV Waka Tsukiyama and Maika. Now, of course, remember, Maika will be out of action later on after the Fukuoka event. Basically, as you know, she's been dealing with some pain on her right elbow, and we'll talk more about that a little later. But yeah, so they face off against those two. I mean, it's no secret that, of course, Lady C and Micah have a bit of a connection due to the fact they tried to persuade her to join DDM, which it never did. But however, of course, Lady C and Hina teaming up was an obvious thing because, of course, Hina and Lady C were once members of Queen's Quest, but that's obvious. But the real question is who walks away with the win. We know the relationship with Waka and Lady C. They've gone back and forth, either who one win or the other wins, so that sort of thing. But in the end, it was Micah who picked up the win on Lady C with the Michinoku driver, and that plays out too well. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Micah picked up the win. Our next up, we have Hate, Rina, Raka, and Konami taking on Neo Genesis, Miyu Amasuki, Azumi, and Starlight Kid. Now, of course, everybody has their history towards hate about the things and the shenanigans they do. But this match ended in a disqualification when Konami was attempting to use the black canister that sprays out black paint. Well, Konami went out of control by kicking the ref. I don't know if it was in the groin, and the ref called the match in the disqualification, giving the match to Neo Genesis. But however, it appears that Hate has their sights set on the artist belts, so they took the belts, claiming that they're the ones going to be challenging them, and not to mention saying they're claiming that they are the champions now once they beat them. But we'll see how that rolls up. Our next match, we have Yuria Him teaming up, of course, with uh, FWC, the members of Stars. I mean, we haven't seen these two ladies, Koguma and Ozuki, team up with the other members recently, but yes, um, they face against Godzai with Rane Agami, the returning Saki Kashima, who's been out due to health problems, and Shuri, our newly crowned IWGP Women's Champion. So basically, things could go either way. But however, of course, the X factor is Yuria Him, who is the rookie of of this match, and not to mention the one with the least experience. So it was gonna definitely go to her, knowing too well that she had the least experience, and it did. But it was, of course, once again Kashima with the Kishikase onto Yuri him, and just like that, 1, 2, 3. Saki Kashima picked up the win on her return, and just like that, it was over. So our main event, this one's an interesting one that you don't want to miss. We have the Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurara, Sayuri Anu, and Natsupoi. They take on the members of Hate, consisting of Azusa Inaba, Natsuko Tora, and Saya Kamitani. Now, those who know this, Kurara issued a wish that she wants to challenge for the red belt, and Kamitani recently destroyed a contract that was built and ripped it off, but Kurara was not willing to give up that easily. Now, of course, many times we would see that Kurara would take the falls no matter what, but this time, once again, many of you who witnessed, this is not the first time that Kurara actually pinned Sayaka Kurara. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And that's exactly what she did. She picked up another successful win against her. And because of this, it kind of forced, of course, Kamitani to sign the contract saying, yes, I'll accept your challenge. And this will take place on the 11th of May. So stay tuned for that. Uh, so yeah, and of course, the Cosmic Angels closed down the show. That's pretty much it. What happened for that? So I think we're officially done with the Takamatsu. Let's move on to the next one with Stardom, and that's uh Kumamoto, somewhere there. Yeah. We continue with more with Stardom with Kumamoto, of course, which is took place on the 3rd of May during the Golden Week Fight Tour. Now, for those who don't know, this is, of course, Kumamoto is the hometown of Yuna Mizumori. So basically, she'll be in the main event facing off Starlight Kid. Now, I will give you guys more details why this match was so important. But let's go from the very beginning of the show all the way to the end. It opened up with Akira Kuragani once again facing off Hanako in singles action instead of what happened last time in a three-way. But, however, of course, the same result was going to be. Those who know, Kuragani is the least experienced of the team, not to mention Hanako. Not only she gained experience and learned some new moves, she was able to pick up the win by using a very move that we know very too much, which is, of course, a brain buster. Very effective, and that gave her the win. 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have Yuria Him teaming up with Saki Kashima. They take on Stars, Momokogo, and Saida. Now, many people who know Saki Kashima likes to play little games, not try to be who she is. However, somehow, Yuri Him was not an idiot. Like, she knew exactly who she was getting herself into, and that's how things were going to roll. But however, it was Momo Kogo who picked up the win on Yuri Ham with the Magistral, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have EXV members consisting of Waka Tsukiyama, Maika, and they take on Neo Genesis, Miyu Amasaki, and Azumi. Now, of course, things could go either way, but as you know, Azumi, who is well known as one of the best wrestlers we've seen so far in Stardom, was able to pick up the win with the Azumi Sushi onto Waka, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we have Zuzuki teaming up with FWC, Koguma and Azuki. Now, many people have been talking about recently the possibilities of Azuki joining Zuzu, but we just don't know yet. I mean, anything is a possibility, so we can't rule it out. They face against God's Eye, consistent of Lady C, Hina, and Shuri. Now, of course, things could go either way. I mean, you got to remember there's X factors of this match. Shuri, as you all know, is the current IWGP Women's Champion. So most likely she could be targeted to be picked up a win by either these three ladies. But luckily that did not happen because unfortunately Lady C was the one who ended up on the wrong side of the senton onto by to Azuki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Our next match, we have the Cosmic Angels, all Sayaka Kuwara, Aya Sakura, Sayuri Anu, and Natsupoi taking on Hate, which consisted of Rina, Raka, Natsuko Tora, and Sei Kamitani. As you know, the rivalry between both factions have always been strong for the last year or so, but now things are more escalated, as you know, with Kurara being the one challenging for the red belt. But as always, you can say this is a preliminary match for the May 11th show on Korakuen Hall. Kamitani was able to pick up the win, of course, with Kurara with the Star Crusher, and just like that, it was over. But of course, Kurara actually, Kamitani gave a little promo about her, saying that she's going to crush her no matter what. But of course, Kurara will not give up no matter what. Now on for our main event, Starlight Kid versus Yuta Mizumori. Now, many of you may question why was this match set upon. For those who don't know, ever since Yuta Mizumori became a full-time member of Cosmic Angels, she had one goal in mind, and that goal is to become a high-speed champion. She has challenged for that belt many times, but recently has been no success. Even Tam has told her not to give up on it. But this is a good experience for her to learn from someone who has won that championship, and that is Starlight Kid. And I think this is where, of course, uh, Yuta Mizumori has stepped up her game a bit. I know she's still saddened with the loss of Tam Nakano being forced to retire. She had to do what she can to continue put forward. But unfortunately, Starlight Kid, who has more experience than her, was able to pick up the win with the Black Tiger leg killer, and just like that, she tapped out. However, during the post match, Starlight Kid was well aware of Yuta Mizumori's nature, understanding that, hey, I fought for that belt 8 times and I lost, but then I tamed it. And of course, saying that I used to be part of the high speed, but I have no intentions of that. He praises Yuta Mizumori for how much she has grown, and she's hoping that she does win that belt and hope she brings it back to Kumamoto, to show it off to her hometown. And of course, that's exactly what Yuna Mizumori mentioned on the post match promo, where she mentioned that's the idea. She wants to win it, and I hope she does because she has worked real hard to get where she's at. And I think deep down she wants to make Tam proud no matter what. So we'll see how things roll up. I do know we continue with more of the Golden Week Fight Tour, but we'll stop here with all the reviews and move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Right. Let's talk about, of course, in our news updates with the upcoming events. As you know, on May 10th, we have the Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling with Northern Rising. We have a very interesting match. We have the War Dogs, consistent of David Finlay and Drilla Maloney, taking on the Good Brothers. That's right. Uh, the Dog Gallows, and of course the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. So that's going to be a very interesting match to watch. Now, another championship match has been announced for the upcoming NWA Crockett Cup on the 17th of May. The NWA World Television title will be defended. A guy named Carson Drake, who I don't know who he is, I haven't been keeping up with NWA recently, will face against Brian Idol. So, yes. So, that's going to be interesting. And, of course, we have Deadlock Pro Wrestling with Limit Break. They'll take place on the 18th of May. They announced that the DPW tag team titles will be on the line. The Grizzled Young Vets will defend them against Miracle Generation. And as you know, we have the GCW event on the 18th of May in Rochester, New York. Run for it. KJ Orso, or formerly known as Fuego del Sol, will be making his appearance there too. So we're going to see the new side of this guy. So we're going to see how things will roll up. And then finally, as you know, we have the West Coast Pro event when the lights go down. Go out in the city. See, it's going to be CPA versus Aaron Solo, so that's kind of interesting to see. Now, on for some developments. This was confirmed by TPW Insider. It was revealed that the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch have departed from AW slash Ring of Honor. Now, still no indication why. Hopefully, we do get that answer, but we'll stay tuned for that. Now, many of you know this that Riley Osbourne, who was recently released from WWE, well, there was a reason behind his release. Unlike, of course, Dave Meltzer with his claim about wrestlers being lazy, not working hard enough. Well, Riley Osbourne's this exit was because he did not want to be part of Evolved. So it's understandable. I mean, it's kind of like you're being demoted, and he did not want to be part of Evolved, and this resulted of him to being released. So it makes sense now, but we will see where it goes from there. Now, many of you know this. Darby Allin has been making his journey at the Mount Everest since, of course, well, it was reported that he broke the record up to 20,958 feet. So that's the highest elevation that they said. So I'm very happy for him. So we'll see how things will go. Now, a very interesting interview with Mark Henry. As you all know, there is a partnership between WWE and TNA. Now, I know some of you may think, okay, what's the problem? We think it's good business. Well, Mark Henry doesn't think it's going to work out. He doesn't think it benefits anyone. According to what he said, that it doesn't benefit anyone. He feels that WWE are just going to use this to make their talent stand out, that sort of thing. And we have seen some things like this coming with WWE in the past, and I wouldn't hold up against it. But I'm not saying I agree with them or I disagree. But there are some factors of that we can agree upon, possibilities of it. But that's Mark Henry's opinion. So he doesn't think that, of course, that the relation that this is going to happen. But yeah, that's how it is. So we'll see what happens. Now, updates, of course, on the WWE releases, other than Riley Osbourne that I mentioned. Apparently, as you probably know, uh, Nixon Newell, or he's newer as what's her name? Uh, Knox, I believe. But anyway, she actually took into social media about the recent releases, and this is what she said. Let me pull it up real quick for all of you. Yes, she says, like, imagine releasing talent like that. A place is a fucking insane. I mean, she's not wrong. And of course, Shayna Baszler had said to say, Noah can offer what I have to offer. Reality, let the galaxy burn. So if she feels that no one is offering her what she has to offer. I mean, if you guys remember, Swerve Strickland said that he offered everything for WWE, like kind of like pitching what he can do for them. They weren't listening, and of course, it was Tony Khan who actually listened to him. Now, some of you may say, "Okay, Tony Khan is a scumbag," but that's one of the main reasons some wrestlers feel like they were not giving too much, and it's understandable what they're saying. But however, because of these releases, apparently someone had this prediction on what on the recent releases and where they're gonna go, like a prediction. Now, this is what they posted out. Not me, guys. I'm not saying I had anything. Some place called, I don't know the name of this, but yeah. So this is what they said. Braun Strowman might end up with NWA, Dakota Kai with AEW, Cora Jade TNA, Gigi Dolan GCW, Shayna Baszler AEW, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance TNA, Eddie Thorpe New Japan, Riley Osbourne, Noah. So if you guys have any objections on this one, just let me know. But there have been talks that Dakota Kai could be heading her way to, of course, AW, but we just don't know yet. I mean, Eddie Thorpe can go back to New Japan if he wanted to, but we'll see how that will rate. So we'll stay tuned for more on this one. Now, many of you know about the recent acquisition of AAA by, of course, WWE. Well, it was later revealed that Los Garzas, there will Garzas, what's their name? Angel Garza, and of course, what's his name? His cousin Cabrillo are expected to appear in Triple Mania. So that is something we definitely see. We know that they've been talking about, of course, having other wrestlers showing up, like of course Rey Mysterio, um, Penta, and a few others. But we'll see. We'll pay attention to that. However, also there's been recent talks regarding of WWE acquiring AAA. There's been talks about giving contracts on to certain people. We have Hijo de Vikingo, Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., La Parca, the third one, of course, La Hiedra, Lady Flamer, Lady Maravilla, Nino Arburguesa, and of course someone you all know, Alberto Del Rio, who goes by Alberto El Patron. So there's been talks about recently about Alberto Del Rio recently about saying he did not get the contract, but this is something that's been saying. But we will find out soon enough if there is any confirmation of that. So there's been talks about these talents being there. However, another talent was mentioned, but I will save that for another time, and that is La Hiedra about a situation that involves Stephanie Bakir. But once I get more information on that, I'll let you guys know. Now, Micah recently, as you know, will be taking a break on what's been going on. But this is what she had to say. They asked her about the crisis with the retirement of Tam and the departures of Mina and Mayu. And this is what she had to say. I don't think it's a crisis at all. Last year's split was much tougher, but we all went through that to get where we're at, where we are now. The younger members have grown up. Hanako is also going to challenge for the Wonder title. Stardom will be fine without me now. I've done everything I could. So she feels that nothing is wrong at the moment due to Tam being forced to retire and Mina and of course Mayu leaving Stardom. So she feels like everything will be fine now that the younger members are in the game and hopefully they'll step up. But she even talked more about her right elbow. As you know, she's been injured. It's been bothering her for the last 3 or 4 years. But this is what she said. I thought it was normal for a wrestler to get hurt at and the adrenaline makes the pain go away during the match. So I kept getting by, but before I knew it got really bad. I know it's affecting my daily life to the point where I'm washing my hair is difficult and it hurts when I'm holding a drink. It's not good to endure it for too long, and I realized I was failing as a professional. So yes, this is one thing we as human beings we need to understand. If you feel that there's something in bothering you and nothing's been going away, go get it checked out, guys. Don't be lazy about it. Don't pretend it's gonna go away. I mean, I know a few people that went through that. Me, I went to the ER because I had a problem with my abdomen, and I did not wait it like a week. I just went right away. So it's good to her that she's starting to see that. Of course, the whole thing. Micah recently actually also talked about the reluctant take a break last year after the departure of 5 wrestlers. And this is what she said. Up until now, I have sacrificed too much of myself for the sake of my unit, for the sake of stardom, and for the sake of the company. Before I knew it, I had to stop wrestling for myself, so this time, taking a break might be the first decision I've made on my own sake in a long while. So basically, she was planning to take a break last year, but due to Julia, Mai Sakurai, Mirai, Victoria Yuzuki leaving, that kind of went in like, okay, I got to pull it on hold. But she often recently now talk about who she wants to face after she returned. And this is what she said. I want to fight Shihiro Hashimoto and Maika Iwata again. Well, it's not just Sandai girls. I just want to fight wrestlers from various promotions and also want to go overseas. I want to recover fully and come back at the end of the year as a better version of myself. So we don't know how long she'll be out, but hopefully things will go normal for her. But we'll just have to wait and see until then. So as of right now, we are officially done with everything, so let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know, we have NXT, so that's our top priority. Now, I haven't decided yet. I know I'm a bit behind on certain events. I'm going to make a judgment call on certain ones that I probably won't be able to do so. So, bear with me on that. So, stay tuned. So, like I said, I haven't decided yet, but NXT is the top priority, in case anybody asks. So, until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.